groundify your I identities. Okay, guys, this is advanced topic, guys. So, uh, well, I don't even know how to like break it down for you. So, other than just tell you, look, we are moving in the direction of really, really intelligent um, AI, and identity groundification is a top thing in Google's priority right now. But also, this is something in my priority as well. So what am I doing? I'm doing really advanced type of fun stuff across many different types of endeavors in my life. But grounding was one of the toughest challenges indeed, and simply because um, like what I discovered is when you build, let's say you use OpenClaw and you tell it to do one thing, but then the gateway fails, and it will continue failing. And no matter which way, what you tell it, how to fix it, no matter what, it's always gonna fail. Um, that would be an example of. Thank you guys for jumping in. And yeah, that would be an example of failed groundification. Sheesh. So, guys, look, I'm gonna be heading out to like Pennsylvania. I'm gonna be securing one of the like I have a big project and for multiple police precincts, so I'm gonna be securing that police departments, multiple police departments. Um, so I've been chosen to go as a consultant, and of course I'm doing this as a side hustle, and of course, guys, I'm doing other side hustles and teaching university and that kind of stuff. But um, a lot of you probably wondering like, how can I benefit from everything that Ron Wells is doing and learn in a process and kind of start making money? Well, you see, guys, I kind of started to forget about the concept of making money as soon as I started like solving an actual problem um, for well police departments and of course for university. And when you start thinking deeper on that level, everything kind of falls apart and you no longer want to do what you wanted to do earlier. So I know I wanted to do earlier, like have the talent agency and everything, connect you guys to the best of the best employers in the world, and so this way have a beautiful life, beautiful job. But my passion now, guys, like shifting gradually into the world of like um, government contracts, government military type of AI systems, that kind of stuff. And uh, one of the things that I'm researching is groundification. And I think you guys already seen me give you some examples of what is grounding. You've probably seen some of my TikToks for how I have university work and on Monday and Wednesday, and then I do a full-time job and I have a hybrid schedule, and then I do Uber Eats and I do proxy picks, doing all sorts of side hustles and kind of switching between different identities. But um, and every single day is like a box of chocolate. But in the world of AI, in a world of post-apocalyptic AI era where we live in today, after the AGI and everything, systems are becoming extremely powerful and they're moving in that super intelligent direction. I'm heavily involved in securing all sorts of cloud codes and cloud add-ons, cloud co-work, all sorts of things, guys. Because just recently, guys, what I did is I created a autonomous mode on my OpenClaw, just to kind of give it a taste to see how it feels. And kind of the best way I could kind of describe it to you is it's like when you drive a car and you press on a gas and it just goes, but sometimes you lift off the brakes, I mean it, and it got to slow down. Well, I kind of introduced the same exact thing with OpenClaw, autonomous mode, and just the not just autonomous, but the sprint mode, where I kind of wanted OpenCloud to just go ahead and just go nuts and like do everything for whatever the mission that I'm focusing throughout the week. and and believe me, guys, when you set up some models like Minimax 2.7, and of course not just static models, but dynamically, when you set them up and you tell OpenCloud, like go run, go do, what you got to do. First of all, how does it know that what it got to do, what it got to do based on, well, I introduced identities, identities throughout my life. And of course, some of you will say, well, Rome, like, I don't know. Why do I need identities? Why do I need to do all that? The truth is, guys, if you want to have super intelligence evolved right in front of your eyes, and if you wanted to get things done quicker, you will need the identity groundification. Now, right now, uh, of course, in the past couple of weeks, I have managed to crack the code for how to increase learning effectiveness for students exponentially just with OpenClaw and Google Classroom. I carry that over into consulting world, and I'm preparing for a meeting on March 31st to pretty much secure multiple police precincts. And the solution that I came up with is incredible, but it does have to do with groundification of the mission. Think of it, the best way I could describe to you guys is think of a set and multiple elements in a set. Think of like a mathematics where you have a circle and you have multiple circles intersecting with one another to produce uh, and during within those intersects, that's where you get the valuable kind of um, results. Uh, I, so I kind of replicated the same exact thing with OpenClaw and with the groundification algorithm that I recently built that groundifies my identity based on the priority of what I'm doing throughout the day, throughout the week. It learns about it. It automatically finds what I'm struggling with. It categorizes, it prioritizes, adds weights for what is the most important, and autonomously follows back with me on a regular basis. While I could just tell OpenClaw, hey, slow down a bit. Let's hit the brakes. Only proceed with the sprints and come back to me after completing each sprint. So this kind of mixed mode that I introduced makes it possible for you to get a lot of work done. What kind of work am I talking about? I'm talking about, let's just say, in my particular case, obviously, I need to be ready for presentation for upcoming March 31st, whatever police departments, I got to secure them. How do I secure police departments, multiple precincts, and how am I using OpenClaw and combination of all of that? Guys, this is advanced stuff. This is rarely anybody. You will not find another YouTube channel like this, guys, where people break this stuff down across multiple parts of their life, side hustles and university work and research, plus make it possible for you to kind of quickly understand and apply it for your own world. You will not find another channel like this, guys. So treat this as gold, guys. This is the real world use cases, guys. Treat it like gold. So anyway, going back to the groundification and my university research. So with university research, what I managed to do is I figured out a way for how to use OpenClaw to increase learning effectiveness exponentially by groundification, by groundifying students into a set. In my particular case, that set um, is a curriculum with a syllabus, that kind of stuff. So when I talk about concrete use cases, immediately what you need to be doing, guys, you need to be thinking of mathematics. You need to be thinking of circles, intersects, unions, all those elements while listening to whatever it is that I'm describing to you. Otherwise, you're going to have a really tough time of constructing bots that will actually do stuff for you autonomously. Now, guys, Anthropic CEO came out and mentioned something incredible. We're talking about less than, uh, what was it, 17 months or so until lots of jobs going to be really, really on the line for many people and a lot of people looking for answers. There's a lot of educators in New York who are going on strike. There's a lot of activities, that a lot of buzz happening so rapidly, guys, that if you don't like double down on this knowledge that I'm explaining now, you have a really high chance of falling behind, and uh, that could be detrimental to your future. So right now there's a super fast split happening in society, and that split has to do with super intelligence. So if you tap into this channel, you will have a chance to either A, um, preserve your job if you have a job right now, or B, land a hot smoking job, or C, increase your business sales or whatever kind of business that you have, efficiency exponentially. Now, when I bring in all those details, I tap into mathematics, neuroscience. Heck, sometimes I like to make comparison to all sorts of astrophysicists and whatnot. In this YouTube channel, you get a concrete solidification of what's happening in the world with AI and what I'm actually doing. So this way you could replicate the same exact techniques for your life. So going back to groundification, the biggest discovery I made was when I managed to, uh, in students' effectiveness, learning effectiveness, took place when I groundified everything to curriculum and created what's so called feudal educator clay. Think of it sort of like a spider web that you could kind of throw on top of any kind of use case. And intelligent, think of it as a intelligent web that you kind of throw on top of any use case, and it just sprawls its way into whatever subsequent elements that are part of this spider web. So, and when you think of OpenClaw, kind of why is everybody talking about it? Why is it? How come it's harder than ChatGPT? I already stopped talking to ChatGPT a while ago, guys. OpenClaw, oh my God, guys, look, what OpenClaw allows me to do, it allows me to synchronize my brain with other team members' brain while being groundified to the mission. So I gave you an example of groundification in the world of university and in the world of syllabuses and whatnot. That's all good and great. That those missions may sound simple in university setting, like okay, you have an end day, you have a beginning day for a class you're teaching. That's great. Everything seems to be clear with what kind of curriculum, where there's a beginning and an end. But what happens when your missions and when your groundification shifts, or when you want to overarch um, your lessons learned from one endeavor to another without sensitive pieces sipping through? How do you tackle that? So guys, this is where feudal educator clay comes in. You can wrap it around your use case. You could throw it on top of any kind of use case. In my particular case, after creating feudal educator clay, I ended up throwing that blanket on top of my university identity use cases. Everything is solidified in identities. Identities shift. They shift based on priorities. Priorities are auto-determined through your interactions with OpenClaw. How does it happen? Through the data. Where does it sit? On my iPhone, on my computer. How does the OpenClaw know when to communicate and when to execute which particular mission and what is a priority and what's not? It infers through the communication. It asks for priority as well. Like, hey, this is what I noticed. There's a lot of chatter about this and this in relationship to everything that I'm seeing in your Git repository for everything for every sprint that you're supposed to complete. It looks like you're gonna have to. I'm gonna try to reprioritize you. Is it okay with you, guys? What I discovered is what it does is incredible, and I'm not talking about only sprint in a world of like computer developers. No, I'm talking about an actual sprint in terms of every single element of my life, meaning my university identity, meaning my professional endeavors, my passion, my private endeavors. Feudal educator clay sits on top of professional, uh, uh, passion, and private. Like all of this, it sits on top of all of those categories. Then identities are chosen based on interaction. Those interactions for the repetitive process that dashboard and sees what are the most repetitive patterns that it sees throughout the conversations and categorize them, adds weights automatically on top of it, and then pushes back to me and lets me know, hey, based on everything what's going on, looks like Rome, you're heavily being involved in university work. You have an upcoming lesson on Monday. Let me just make sure you're prepared. I'm going to go ahead and create a fully blown simulation environment with slides, with quizzes based on the curriculum grounded data based on the curriculum grounded data and the syllabus I'm seeing the upcoming lesson is on Monday. I'm going to go ahead and tap into student memories and synthesize them and include them in the quiz to make it easier for students to finally recognize themselves in those quizzes. So this is the entire curriculum is fluid in nature. Why do you guys think right now there's a lot of educators on the streets protesting and quickly they having signs and saying things like, "Hey, we're about to get cooked, guys." This is the reason why. What I just described. Make sure you don't get cooked. Make sure you get to understand how to create those identities. Start creating your own feudal educator clay. Start wrapping that clay around your identities. Now, what's so common, you will also hear the concept of agents. How are the agents used in my everyday life across those identities, and how does it work? So each agent, and to make it easier, I have one conductor agent. The feudal educator clay is not only a blanket that gets wrapped on top of any use case or set of identities, but it's also a conductor, the facilitator, the one that knows and sees multiple and uses the best practices and self-healing techniques to reach out and see if, for example, open cloud gateway is not working. It will go ahead and it will consult Freedom Fusion Router. Freedom Fusion Router has dynamic models from Minimax 2.7 as primary and other models, and it picks the models that is um, the most like the best type of model that you could pick without burning through tokens. It has the mechanism for maintaining costs and not to go around your budget while still staying in a deadline. Now, this is extremely advanced super intelligence that I'm describing right now, guys. And what makes it super intelligence is multiple feudal educator clays on top of another, set within a set, um, where you have multiple sub-agents being triggered and flying across this groundified um, mission that stays still and until the next mission. So in simple words, let's say I'm preparing for March 31st meeting to secure multiple precincts and police departments. I need to prepare everything and find the mutual dots of reasons that will reduce the overall costs, increase safety for police officers, while also reduce the uh, tax people's money. Like, how do I pull this off? Uh, Guys, this is the type of stuff that I'm doing right now, and this is why I'm being summoned by to the top of the top letter to be like as part of the consulting company to help police departments come up with this. This is just something that I'm doing now as a side hustle, guys. And this is if I'm doing this as a side hustle, can you guys imagine what I'm doing as a full-time job? So guys, look, at the end of the day, I want you to kind of realize that if you want to get access to that super intelligence, then you do have access to my $14.99 bundle. So you could wrap that around your OpenClaw and get access to my super intelligence. So meaning you could recreate the entire simulation environment, automation environment where OpenClaw will come back to you. It can go on a cruise control. It could go full sprint mode. You get full information for how to pull this off. And yeah.